You'd think that when you spend over $4 billion on something, you'd at least try to make sure it doesn't turn into a giant money-sucking black hole. But nope, not Disney. They managed to turn one of the most beloved franchises in the galaxy into a colossal financial disaster.
How did everything get so screwed up?
How, you ask? Let's dive into the specifics of this epic fail. Let's start with Bob Iger, the genius who thought it was a fantastic idea to throw billions at anything that even remotely smelled like success. Pixar, sure. Marvel, why not? 21st Century Fox, absolutely. And then there's Lucasfilm, bought for a hefty $4 billion. At first, it seemed like a golden opportunity. Star Wars and Indiana Jones, two of the most iconic franchises ever. What could go wrong? Apparently, everything. Disney's handling of Star Wars has been nothing short of disastrous. The promise of reviving a dormant giant turned into an exercise in how to burn cash faster than the Millennium Falcon on a Kessel Run. Let's talk numbers. The Force Awakens, a box office juggernaut, right? Wrong. It was the most expensive movie ever made, costing a jaw-dropping $553 million. Sure, they got some reimbursements from the UK, but it barely made a dent. The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker didn't fare much better, costing $300 million and $416 million, respectively. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, came in at $200 million, and Solo, a Star Wars story, it lost money. That's right, the first Star Wars movie to actually lose money. Unbelievable. Disney made 5 Star Wars films, and guess what? They haven't even turned a profit. In fact, they've lost approximately $2.8 billion. Let that sink in. They spent billions and are still in the red. You'd think someone at Disney would have the sense to say, hey, maybe we're doing something wrong here. But no, they keep doubling down on their mistakes. And those are just the production budgets. Factor in marketing, which usually costs around 50% of the production budget, and you're looking at an even bigger money pit. Each of these films had marketing budgets that were through the roof, making the whole endeavor even more expensive. Yet Disney has the audacity to try and claim they've seen a handsome return on investment. Forbes laid it out clearly. Disney's ROI claims are a joke. They base their calculations on revenue rather than profit, conveniently ignoring the massive costs involved. It's like bragging about how much money you're making from selling lemonade without mentioning the fortune you spent on lemons, sugar, and stands. It's deceptive, it's misleading, and it's downright pathetic. Disney's attempt to paint a rosy picture of their Star Wars acquisition is nothing more than a desperate PR move. In reality, they're bleeding money on this franchise, and it's a glaring warning sign for any future projects. If the films can't turn a profit, what hope is there for anything else? Enter Kathleen Kennedy, the so-called Lucasfilm chief, who's been steering this ship straight into an iceberg. Since 2019, there hasn't been a new Star Wars movie. Instead, we get Disney Plus shows like The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. These shows are fun and all, but they're not enough to keep the franchise afloat. It's telling that Disney has prioritized these series over feature films. It's almost like they've realized they can't make a successful Star Wars movie to save their lives. Now, with the Dave Filoni-led Disney Plus shows losing steam, what's Disney's big plan? Bring back Daisy Ridley. Because, the character everyone loves to hate is definitely going to save the franchise. It's a move so desperate it's almost laughable. The reality is, Disney is scrambling. They're banking on attractions like Galaxy's Edge and Grogu plushies to keep the cash flowing. But how long can they ride that wave? The Galactic Starcruiser debacle should have been a wake-up call. You can't just slap the Star Wars name on something and expect it to succeed. In conclusion, Disney's mishandling of Star Wars is a masterclass in how to ruin a good thing. They've managed to turn a goldmine into a financial sinkhole, and there's no end in sight. He is hoping they learn from their mistakes before they completely destroy one of the most beloved franchises in cinematic history. But, given their track record, I'm not holding my breath. Disney, do better. For the love of the Force, do better. As fans, we can only watch in despair as the magic of Star Wars gets trampled by corporate greed and poor decision-making. The Force might be with the franchise in spirit, but Disney's relentless bungling threatens to snuff out that spark entirely. If they don't change course soon, we might be looking at the final, tragic chapter of what was once a legendary saga. May the Force have mercy on us all.